Roxy and Moxie were two happily married brontosauruses. They lived in a very tall house in a small, quiet village. They were very friendly and all the neighbors loved them. One day they were visited by Storkosaurus. He left a big basket on the front stoop, covered in a blanket. Whatever could be inside, Roxy asked Moxie. Moxie decided to take a peek. "It's a baby Brontosaurus," exclaimed Moxie. Roxy smiled and clapped her hands. "Our very own baby, what shall we name him?" "Well," thought Moxie, "does he look like a Topher?" Roxy loved the name, and they raised Topher with all the love a Brontosaurus could hope for. Topher grew very quickly. He was already taller than Sophia the Stegosaurus and Terry the Triceratops. But soon he was taller than his Brontosaurus friends. At 4 years old, Topher was taller than his parents. Topher had a very few good friends, but some of the other boys at the school made fun of him for being so tall. One day, Roxy found Topher crying in his room. Roxy asked, "Why are you crying, little Topher?" Topher sobbed, "I'm crying because I'm not little Topher, I'm big Topher. All the boys made fun of me for being so tall." Roxy said, "Topher, everyone is different. Don't listen to those boys at school. One day you'll understand that your height is a gift and you'll be very happy." The years go by, and now Topher is 10 years old. His neck is so long that his head is in the clouds. It makes it very hard for Topher to see where he is going. One day Topher gets out of bed and opens his eyes, but everything is still dark. Topher is scared. He yells for his mother and she comes running. "Honey, what is it?" Roxy called. "Mom, I can't see anything. I don't know where I am," Topher yelled. "Oh my, Topher, it looks like you have had a growth spurt." Topher had indeed had a growth spurt. He is now so tall that his head was in outer space. Topher now had to duck his head down when he was in school so he could see the teacher. One day Topher was walking in the park with his head up in space, looking at all the pretty stars and planets, when he noticed something move behind a moon. He saw a little head pop out for only a second and then go back to hiding. "Who's there?" Topher called nervously. The moon replied with a giggle. "Please come out and let me see you," Topher begged. Suddenly a creature popped out from behind the moon. It was a little girl. "Oh, hello, little girl. What's your name?" asked Topher. "My name's Stella," said the little girl. "I'm playing hide and seek with my friends. Do you want to help me find them?" Topher said of course I would. The two new friends searched for Stella's friends for an hour, but they couldn't find anyone. Stella started to cry. "I'm scared, Topher. What if I'm lost forever?" "Don't worry, Stella. I'll get you back home," said Topher reassuringly. What a sight they were. A tall Brontosaurus with a little girl riding on his head. They asked everyone if they had seen Stella's friends. They asked people up in space and the people down on the ground. For 2 hours they looked and nobody had seen Stella's friends. Stella was starting to cry again. "Don't cry, Stella, it'll be okay. I promise we'll find your friends." As they walked past the small meteor, Stella shouted, "Stop, look, Topher." Stella had seen something on the meteor. It was her friend Sarah's hat. Stella tucked the hat away in her back pocket for later. "Now we were going on the right way," said Topher. As they continued on their way, they found more and more of clues from Stella's friends. On one planet, they found a girl's shoe that had fallen off. They had even saw a fancy necklace floating past them. Stella quickly grabbed it and put it in her backpack. "Amy's going to want this back," Stella said with a laugh. As Stella and Topher passed by a small blue planet, they heard children's laughter. Topher tried to reach his head up to the planet, but he wasn't quite tall enough. Stella stood tippy-toe on top of Topher's head and jumped up to the planet. She had found her friends. They were all sitting in a space campfire with their space babysitter. The space babysitter jumped up and ran to Stella as soon as she saw her. "Oh, Stella, there you are. I thought you had gone home. How did you find us all the way out here?" "My new friend Topher helped me," Stella said happily. "Well, thank you, Topher," the babysitter yelled to him. "You're a very good friend." Topher was happy for Stella, but he was sad that she was leaving. "Don't worry, Topher. I promise I'll come back and visit you soon. Bye-bye." Topher watched Stella and her friends float off to their space station. As Topher walked slowly back to his house, he stood as tall as he could. He was no longer ashamed of his height, and he understood that our differences are what makes us wonderful. The end.